Well met, everyone. I am Rich da Lich. I bet you haven't heard that for a while. Hello, everyone. I am back. I made a mistake. At the beginning of the year, I made a video on this channel, and I said it would be the last video that you would see on the All Things Lich YouTube channel. I said that because I said that I was moving my brand over and moving on over to my own name and just branding and marketing myself. And the reason why I made a mistake is I just don't know how all these YouTube algorithms and man, my voice sounds really good today. I like it. This is that early morning gruff. This is what makes an orc. And then later in the day, as their voice smooths out a bit and they get more drink and coffee in them, they start turning into humans. But I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but it doesn't matter. So where was I? I went over to my own personal brand, and one thing I noticed is I'm not someone with 10 million subscribers, of course, right? I have 100 and something subscribers on All Things Lich as of the end of last year, let's say. I was getting more subscribers on All Things Lich while creating content on my actual name brand. And I think what it is the YouTube algorithm, just when someone searches D&D content or how to become a better DM or something like that, they just might come upon some old All Things Lich videos. So it also got me thinking that if I'm going to publish, if I'm going to create something out there on DM's Guild or kickstart something someday or whatever I may do, I can certainly just create my own publishing brand in my own way, in whatever way that I want. The guy that made this is the same guy that does this, and that's the All Things Lich guy, because I can see his background and so on and so forth. So I'm coming back strong onto All Things Lich. I'm going to be focusing on doing those reviews as I do. And well, they're not reviews. I am going to keep doing the spotlights on some DM's Guild content as people send me things, sponsored stuff or things that I don't have to pay for. I'll be purchasing my own stuff as well. We've got Wild Mount coming up from D&D Beyond, official D&D product. I'll do a spotlight on that, talking through that entire thing of what's there, what's not there. And of course, just more goodness with 5th edition D&D content. I want to give a little update of where I'm at right now. I started running with the same sort of group of friends another D&D campaign. So now I play twice a month, but I run a D&D campaign Saturday night. I basically go to bed late, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm up at 9, 10 a.m. getting ready to go to another game that I run. So I volunteered to run 2 campaigns. The first campaign I'm running, you may know, Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, and the group finally made it to Avernus. They're level 5, I think, so we're really delving into the meat and the chapters of that. And the other campaign, the one that I just started yesterday on Sunday, is my own world. It's called Seal Barat, I should say. I just started that, so maybe I'll create some videos on sort of that journey and what that's like to have to creatively load yourself with 2 campaigns concurrently. It's a mishmash. I run 9 players on Saturday and I run 5 players on Sunday, and they're not always the same players, but they're all people that I've known for 25 years, so they're veteran role players that I've run with before. So that's a benefit for me. But I can maybe talk through a little bit of my creative efforts and my trials and tribulations from a creative side, from a DM side, and the things that I see and the things that I might have to go through. And that kind of brings me into a little bit of this. I'm going to kind of just flash a few little whatever those sound effects are on screen and just show you a wagon that I made. So I was browsing through the internet and I found that I think Nolzur's has these different kind of campsite packs. So you know how Nolzur's has all the cool miniatures, of course, that you can buy for your D&D game. They've also got a bunch of campsites and goblin ruins and more building and structural type things. And there's a lot of other companies that are jumping on board this bandwagon, and they're creating these things as well. So I was going to buy something on Amazon and paint it up and bring that to the table, because the wagon, this sort of caravan wagon train concept, is sort of the main defining theme of how this new campaign started. But it just reminded me, and that's maybe if there's a lesson in the video, besides the rambling of telling you that I'm coming back to All Things Lich, if there's a lesson in the video, it would be simply to tell you that even if you don't go out there and you don't buy that stuff, right? Either you don't have the time to go out to the store and get it, you forget to order it on Amazon, which is something I hardly ever do. Forget, that is. or you don't have the money to, you know, you can piece together all sorts of stuff. You can probably find some Western themed toys at the dollar store, chop up a few bits, you know, grab your little X-Acto and your scissors and just cut things up and make your own little wagon. I made this one out of foam. Now, you'll look at the scale here and it's way the hell off. But it's a centerpiece, and it's not something that I'm going to focus on. How can I say this? It's a centerpiece to the campaign and to the battle mat, but I don't want to focus on it too much because there's a lot of NPCs involved in this wagon, and I don't want to run all those NPCs in combat. If you kind of listened to what I said 5 minutes ago, I run 9 players on my Saturday group, and this new game I just started is with 5 players. I'm excited about the opportunity to run basically half the players. So I want to keep things a little more intimate and a lot smaller and kind of really crunch down and create more efficient combat because I have less players. I would completely disregard that if I now added 10 NPCs into the mix. So the wagon is there, but I want it to be more of a, it's more of a metaphorical thing. So I created it a little too large, but it definitely stands out on the battle mat, you know, as a centerpiece that people can focus on. And it does provide some tangible gameplay things. People can take cover behind it and such, and people can sort of delineate between whether they're in the wagon or out of the wagon and so on. So it does take that form, and it is used for that effect, but it's a little big, it's a little unwieldy, but it's just something I created, and it's just kind of highlighting and showing that if you just spend, you know, a little bit of your evening and use some good foam, chop things away, look at pictures online. I spent a lot of time looking at Bloodborne and kind of that atmospheric element and that theme of what those wagons and various carts might look like. So look at all that reference work. You've seen me and heard me talk through that ad nauseum on various older videos here on this channel about finding reference points and finding little creative anchors that you can hold on to. I did just that. I looked up some pictures and then I crafted this thing. I painted it up, and there it is. You know, it's at the table. It's ready to go. So it really gave me a good visual anchor. I keep using that word, but that's a real important point for me lately. A good visual anchor upon which I can build this new campaign. And the other thing it does is, even though these are players that have played with me before, and they're my friends and people I've board gamed and role played with for 25 years, it shows that there's a level of effort that I'm putting into this new campaign, and it's reciprocated. They give that back in return. They're thinking, this guy spent some time to really invest into making this a really cool, visually and narratively expressive world. Let's offer the same in our character creation and so on. So little bits of detail, I guess, would be the lesson of the day. The little bits of detail can go a really long way to selling your enthusiasm when you're starting a new game. So that's a good way to really get the ground running as a new dungeon master, is create some cool terrain bits, something unique. When I think through the hours of what I might get paid as a professional in my business and what I do outside of the D&D space, I should have just bought the damn Nolzur's thing for 25 bucks on Amazon. I would have saved money per se, right? But there's something about the creative process in making that. It helped me invest myself into the world more because I was fiddling with the foam and creating wood and thinking through what this wagon might represent and what it might look like. So that's the old, when you make it by hand, it sometimes can have a lot more value to you, especially from a creative standpoint. So there it is. I wanted to show you the wagon and also ramble and talk you through the fact that All Things Lich is back. If you think Star Wars and Marvel, I'll see you guys later. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.